Hey guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and today I want to talk about one specific setting in the Flashpoint and Godox transmitters called the shoot function. If you're ever in a situation where you're shooting with a group of friends and everybody is sharing the exact same off-camera flash setup, or if you're an educator and you're teaching a photo walk, then you definitely want to know more about this shoot function setting, which is why I'm making this video. Before I continue though, I do want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Adorama. Adorama is an industry-leading retailer that has been serving photography, videography, and audio customers for almost 50 years now. Their motto is everyone is a creator, so they do their best to unleash that creator within us all by providing us with the tools and expertise necessary to get the job done. I personally shop at Adorama for the great deals on products that I both use and recommend, as well as the great customer service on those products as well. If you find yourself interested in any of the products in today's video, check out the description area below for links to those products and be sure to use those links if you decide to order. Like I said before, if you ever shoot with a group of friends and you share the same light setup, or you're an educator and you're teaching different people how to use off-camera flash, then you definitely want to change the shoot function setting to be from one person, which is what it's going to be by default, to several people. To further explain this shoot function setting, I'll go ahead and give you guys one quick example. In this example, let's say that I wanted to shoot with two friends, a total of 3 people at a photo shoot, and I really wanted to overpower the sun at that photo shoot by using the Flashpoint Explorer 600 Pro. The first thing that I do is determine my camera settings, decide to really darken the ambient light, and I use something like full power 1/1 on my Flashpoint Explorer 600 Pro. Well, after I take that first shot, it's at full power, and let's say that I really thought that first shot was really nice, and I decided, you know what, somebody else can go, so I let the next person go at the photo shoot. So the next photographer goes up and they decide they want a very natural light looking shot, almost entirely natural light, but with the flash acting as a little bit of fill. They turn on their transmitter, decide to go to 1/64th output, which is going to be very low in output on the 600 Pro, and then they go ahead and take a shot. Instead of getting 1/64th output on the flash, they instead got full power output because that first photographer, me, had their transmitter set to full power. The reason that ended up happening was because my transmitter was synced up to the light and the second photographer's transmitter was not yet linked to the light. It is only after that first test shot that the second photographer took that their transmitter is now synced up to the light, so now it's going to be at 1/64th. Now let's go ahead and say that the second photographer took their shots and the third photographer went, and now they wanted to go for something around 1/4 power. If that third photographer wants to go ahead and avoid taking that first test shot to sync up their transmitter to the light, then they would have to hit the test fire button on their transmitter, and that would go ahead and sync their transmitter to the light. The reason for that test fire or that first test shot was because everyone had the shoot function set to single person. When it's set to several people, which is actually going to be perfect for that scenario because it's more than one person, it's 3 people. Well, now what's going to happen is that if I take a picture at full power, the second photographer has theirs at a very low output like 1/64th. Now they won't have to do that test fire or that test shot in order to sync their transmitter to the light. And the same thing for that third photographer with their different output. That is going to be the key difference between the shoot function set to one person and several people. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and talk about this feature, because for years now, I've actually been doing the test shot or that test fire button to sync my transmitter to the light. And had I known about that shoot function having that group of people setting, then I would not have to have gone through so much trouble over the past couple of years when shooting with a group of friends or teaching people. To give you guys another quick example, recently when I did a photo walk at WPPI, I was trying to shoot at a very low output of like 1/128th, very low output on my Explorer 300 Pro, and I think I was adjusting it to be just slightly brighter than 1/128th to 1/128th plus 2/3, and then somewhere in between taking that first shot at 1/128th and the second one at 1/128th plus 2/3, somebody must have had the group setting enabled on the shoot function, changed their power output, or they must have taken a shot without me realizing and the light ended up syncing with their transmitter and changing the output to something very high. So when I took my next shot, only a couple seconds after that first shot, ended up giving me way too much power. So what I ended up doing was I was trying to tell everybody, please turn off your transmitter. If you're not taking a picture, then please leave it off so that these settings don't go out of whack for everyone. But had I known about that several people setting on the shoot function, then I would not have had those problems. And now for the visual people like myself, I'll show you guys a very quick example with my own 2 cameras and one light to show you exactly what's happening. and also show you guys how to enable the several people setting on that shoot function. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the Canon 6D. This is a camera that's set up so there's no ambient showing, none of this blue light. And on the left, we have a Sony a7R III, and this camera is set up so there is going to be a good amount of ambient light showing up, a little bit of that blue showing up in the exposure. But we're going to go ahead and let the Canon camera go first. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a shot, and I have a correct exposure on the screen at 1/8 output. But now that the Canon took their shot, the Sony is going to go ahead and take their shot now. And again, it only needs 1:256. But when I take a shot, it gave me all 1/8 output of this light. So I'm going to go ahead, you know what, let me just turn this off real quick. Because the Canon 6D's transmitter was synced up to the light, the Sony a7R III got that 1/8 output that it previously used. And in order to sync up the light to the transmitter on the Sony, this camera would need to take a test shot. But even then, I took this test shot right now and it still didn't sync up. So what we're going to do now is hit that test fire, and now the transmitter synced up to the light. And in order for, again, the Canon 6D to sync up to the light, you would need to hit that test fire again, and now it's synced up. But in order to skip that test shot or the test fire to sync the camera back to the transmitter of the camera that's going to go ahead and take their shot, you would then just need to enable the group setting on the shoot function. So in order to do that on the R2 Pro transmitter, you're going to go to the menu, you're going to scroll all the way down till you see shoot, click set, and then change it to the group of people right there. Click set again, and then exit the menu. And I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing to this transmitter right now. Now that I have both cameras set to the several people setting in the shoot function, now every time each of these different cameras takes a shot, they're going to have the desired output that they want. 1/8 over here, 1:256 over here. I'm going to take another shot, 1:256. Take another shot over here, 1/8 over there. And again, one more time, 1:256. And now the test shot and the test fire button on the transmitter was not necessary in order to sync the light with the transmitters. And that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope that tip helped you out. I honestly wish I knew about it sooner because I personally have been hitting that test fire for years to sync up my transmitter back to my light, or back to the light that I was using at group photo shoots. So definitely learn from my mistakes and just enable that several people setting in that shoot function instead. I wanted to give one last thanks to Adorama for sponsoring this video because it seriously does allow me to dedicate more time to my channel and make free content for you guys. So definitely check out Adorama. Take care guys, and I'll see you in the very next video.